The battlefield erupts in chaos as dark feathers drift through the smoke of a raging inferno. Absolute destruction sets the stage for a heart-pounding showdown. The carrion crow descends with savage hunger, tearing into the fallen body. In one gruesome motion, it plucks the eye right from the socket. Death has come knocking, turning this quiet meal into a gruesome graveyard. Crows feast on the fallen as the apocalypse claims another room of souls. With a sickening splash, they step directly into a fresh pool of blood. The carnage has only just begun. He wakes up in a cold sweat, trembling as he stares at his hands, wondering what kind of monster he has become. He surveys the wreckage around him, his mind struggling to process the sheer scale of the devastation. The realization hits him like a freight train. Did he really cause all of this? He cries out in agony, swearing that he never wanted any of this to happen. The weight of his guilt crushes him. He demands to know why his life has turned into such a nightmare. The tension peaks as a mysterious energy ignites, flashing with blinding intensity. A dangerous power is awakening right before our eyes. A single, precise strike pierces through the darkness, shattering the enemy in an instant. The battlefield erupts as the final blow silences the encroaching shadow. A chilling awakening. He snaps his eyes open to find himself trapped in a nightmare of blood and chaos. Gasps echo in the silence as he struggles to catch his breath. Something intense is clearly taking its toll. He wonders if he's trapped in a recurring hell, questioning if this nightmare will ever end. The authorities arrive as the instructor labels him Restricted Level Esper ID 1002, G. Minghwan. They demand he prepare himself immediately, for the interrogation is about to begin. The instructor looms over him, whispering a dark warning. They don't hesitate to eliminate any potential threats. He reminds the boy that he is the only one here showing even a shred of mercy. He urges the boy to cooperate, claiming it's the only way to avoid a painful fate. If only life were as simple as filling out a survey. The boy freezes, confused by the mention of an ability. He screams in defiance, demanding to know what this so-called dangerous power is. Since he hasn't got a clue himself, the instructor remains cold, insisting that his ranking sequence is world-endingly dangerous. He mentions he's been doing some digging into the boy's past at the orphanage. It turns out his fellow orphans called him a monster for his strange habit of wrapping himself in tissue paper. He adds that the caretakers noted a bizarre obsession with sneaking into the computer lab to play games. He probes for the truth, wondering if these stories are accurate. He admits he's only here to get the truth out of the boy. The boy strikes a deal. Let him out and he'll tell them everything. A cold, calculated glint flashes behind his lenses. The trap is set, and there is no turning back now. The instructor theorizes that he's a reality manipulation esper, and his powers likely manifest through gaming logic. He suggests the ability might manifest as a game level to guide him, which sounds like a very elaborate way to say he needs a tutorial. The boy snaps, asking if the man is just a programmed robot repeating the same lines. The instructor sighs, clearly bored, and tells him to get some rest. The boy lunges, desperate to keep the conversation going. He reminds them he's been locked in this hole for a month. He demands to know when he will finally be set free. The instructor teases him, suggesting that good behavior might earn him a reward. He drops the bombshell. Maybe he can leave once he's all grown up. The boy realizes the truth. He's never leaving this lab alive. By the time he's qualified to leave, he'll just be a corpse. With a single, thunderous strike, he shatters reality itself. The barrier crumbles into nothingness. A digital voice echoes through the void. Welcome, Player One. The barrier shatters into a million pieces. Reality itself is cracking under the immense pressure. Reality shatters into 1,000 pieces as he stands frozen in the wake of the destruction. Everything he knows is breaking apart right before his eyes. He looks around, lost and disoriented, trying to figure out where he is. Reality fractures as he drifts helplessly into the digital void. The very fabric of his world is shattering before his eyes. He remembers the instructor's words about his ability manifesting as a game. He stands alone at the edge of existence, staring into the infinite abyss of power. The awakening begins now. Could this interface really be his ability? The screen flashes. Infinite split game loaded. The system announces it is proceeding to the character creation phase. Reality shatters in a blinding flash of raw power. Everything is dissolving into digital chaos. The system presents the first option. Gu Wenyu, a 17-year-old esper with the power to control pitch-black restraints. The backstory explains his life in the Dawn capital and the sudden awakening of his dangerous powers. He discovers that his family has been hiding dark secrets for over a decade. The second option appears. Anomaly Emissary Andre, who fights using mysterious artifacts and the Anomaly Index. The system prompts him to choose a character to debut in the real world. He makes his choice, ready to start the game. He selects Gu Wenyu and is asked to choose a growth path. Hero, villain, or morally gray. He picks morally gray, and the system generates a unique progression path just for him. The system works to make his new existence logical within the real world. He realizes that if this game world mirrors reality, he can use this character to investigate the organization that kidnapped him. It's the perfect cover to infiltrate the labs and find the truth. As a morally gray figure, he has the perfect excuse to play both sides to get the intel he needs. He feels the warmth of the sun. Is this real? People around him are celebrating summer vacation, oblivious to the fact that their world is now a game. He looks at his surroundings, stunned by the realism. He lunges forward with lightning speed. There's no escaping his sudden, explosive strike. Could he really be back in the outside world? It's true. He's actually outside. He can't believe he finally made it out. He stands there, soaking in the freedom. Still doesn't feel real. He really actually made it out. A mysterious hand clamps down, catching our hero completely off guard. Danger has arrived in the blink of an eye. It's Li Qingping, his best friend, asking if he's still coming over. The system initiates a massive data download to load his avatar's memories. He braces for the mental impact. Memories begin flooding into his mind. Li Qingping asks if he's okay, sensing something is off. He plays it cool, laughing off the weirdness. The memory load is complete. He now has the life of Gu Wenyu. He tells his friend he's fine, just suffering from a bit of a headache. He brushes off the plans, needing time to figure out his next move. He makes an excuse to get away. His friend complains about wasting summer break, but he's got a world to save. His friend shouts after him, confused by his sudden change in behavior. He doesn't look back. The door swings wide open as a mysterious bag hits the floor with a resounding thud. Something has just arrived, and it's clearly in a massive hurry. He confirms the sensation. The air, the heat, it's all real. He looks around this place, trying to get his bearings. Under the burning crimson sky, he flashes a dangerous, knowing grin. The real game is only just beginning. He realizes the danger. If they find out about his power, he's going back to the lab for good. He vows to never let his main body be imprisoned again. He recalls the ability attached to this body. With a thunderous crash, he slams into the earth. The impact leaves him broken and defenseless in the dust. The name of his power reveals itself. The beast awakens, his eyes burning with a terrifying, blood-red intensity. Nothing can stop the raw, lethal power about to be unleashed. A surge of pure, dark energy erupts, consuming everything in its wake. The battlefield trembles as an overwhelming power is unleashed. He calls out his ability, pitch-black restraints. A surge of dark, lethal energy erupts from within. The protagonist unleashes his dormant power, ready to crush everything in his path. Dark energy surges as he takes command of the battlefield. With a flick of his hand, he unleashes a terrifying, forbidden power. Sinister shadows erupt to consume their target in a flash of overwhelming power. The dark energy surges, sealing the victim's fate. With a cold gaze and lethal intent, he descends from the heights to unleash his dark, crackling power. Destruction is imminent as he closes in on his target. A sinister, jagged void erupts from the wall, crackling with volatile purple energy. The corruption spreads, signaling an ominous threat that cannot be ignored. With a flick of his wrist, he unleashes a lethal tendril of dark energy to swing across the city skyline. The hunt is on, and he's closing in fast. He zips through the city, feeling like a comic book protagonist. Bystanders point to the sky, wondering if they just saw a UFO. Others dismiss it as a hallucination. He revels in his new power, finding it absolutely amazing. He notes that his ability is basically a mashup of Spider-Man and Venom, a classic power combo. He continues his patrol. He arrives at the Dawn Capital Orphanage. He confirms that the place is exactly where he remembers it. He reflects on the years he spent trapped in the attic, staring at a world he couldn't touch. The air turns ice-cold as his piercing gaze locks onto his target. Silence speaks volumes, and this boy is clearly ready to snap. The atmosphere turns electric as a sudden, powerful strike tears through the sky. Everything is about to change in a heartbeat. Ominous shadows tear through the sky, signaling an incoming cataclysm. The atmosphere shatters as dark energy descends upon the world. He enters the Antiquity District to find his home, though the word feels completely alien to him. He reviews his new family: parents, a brother, and a sister. He remembers the tragic loss of his mother to an elite Esper organization. His father, crushed by grief, has been absent for years. He realizes he only has to deal with his siblings now. A much easier task, hopefully. A chilling realization dawns as those mysterious, glowing eyes lock onto the truth. Nothing stays hidden from that piercing gaze. He notices something strange. The mysterious seal glows with forbidden energy as a finger draws near. The moment of truth has finally arrived. The system glitches for a moment, revealing raw data. He realizes he's looking at his own system interface, attributes, quests, and a skill tree. Quests? This really is a game. He investigates the menu. His brother greets him, wondering why he's spaced out. He sees a list of main quests. They all involve uncovering his family's secrets. Quest 3 is to find out what his sister is hiding. Quest 4 is to uncover his brother's secrets. His brother notes he's home early. Dinner is waiting, and he's told to eat while it's hot. The tension skyrockets as a blood-stained blade looms in the foreground. Our protagonist stands frozen, staring straight into the face of absolute danger. He asks his brother if he was really just cooking, or if that's blood on his apron. He pretends it looks delicious, keeping his guard up. He asks where his sister is. His brother says she's staying at a friend's place. He knows that's what the memories say, but he doesn't trust a word of it. He excuses himself to his room, eager to check his new stats. The system displays the final details of his skill tree. He reviews his development progress. He considers his options: stealth, frenzy, or inspect, each one more useful than the last. He has one skill point to spend and knows exactly what he needs for his surveillance mission. If you're enjoying this recap, smash that like button and subscribe for more. The city is buzzing. The Esper known as Blue Arc just shut down a high-stakes crime at the Hanwha building, and the villainous giant Prut is officially headed to lockup. The hero turns his gaze toward the target, his crimson eyes glowing with an intensity that promises absolute destruction. Registered Espers aren't just street brawlers. They're the elite agents officially sanctioned by the local Esper Association. And Blue Arc? He's the undisputed king of Dawn Capital's hero scene. Talk about main character energy. A chilling thought crosses his mind. Could the very people he works for be the ones who experimented on his primary body? There's no time to sit around and ponder. It's time to move. A notification pings. A skill point is spent, and restraint senses is learned. Stealth mode. Engaged. Everything suddenly snaps into focus as he realizes the entire building's layout is mapped out inside his mind like a high-tech blueprint. With a single thought, he can peer through walls and look into any room he chooses. Creepy? Maybe. Effective? Absolutely. Quest complete. He walks away with a split point, a skill point, and a fresh attribute point in his pocket. The system explains that split points build new avatars, while skill and attribute points turn him into an unstoppable powerhouse. Wait a second, he can use these points to create multiple avatars? That means he can be in multiple places at once. Talk about the ultimate multitasking hack. A walkie-talkie crackles to life in Gu Chie's room, demanding Blue Arc report to Dawn Capital Square for a new mission involving a villain named Green Wing. The voice is coming from inside Gu Chie's private quarters. Again? Seriously? Does this guy ever get a day off? He's exhausted, bruised, and just wants a nap. But duty calls even when you're half dead. Green Wing is specifically hunting for him, threatening to execute a hostage every 10 minutes if Blue Arc doesn't show his face. That coward. Tonight is turning into one long, relentless nightmare. The city lights flicker in the distance, setting the stage for a showdown that will test every limit he has. A mocking voice echoes. It's his old brother, Gu Chie, staring him down like he's already won. The pressure is mounting. If a hostage gets iced on live TV, the association's reputation is going down the drain. He acknowledges the order, gritting his teeth as he prepares for another round of chaos. He shouts for them to stall the villain while he makes his grand entrance. He's off, moving with such intensity that the air seems to warp in his wake. Even battered and bruised, he moves like a blur. It's no wonder Blue Arc is the city's favorite superstar. Quest update. He needs to uncover Gu Chie's secrets and build a network within the Esper Association. This quest is trying to drag him into the deep end of the pool, and he is not here for the headache. 10:20 p.m. at Dawn Capital Square. The clock is ticking, and the crowd is getting restless. Green Wing is losing his cool, and the hostages are terrified. Will our hero show up in time to save the day? The hostages sob, their fear palpable in the chilling night air. A soft whimper breaks the silence, heightening the tension. Green Wing mocks the hero, shouting into the silence as the 10-second countdown to the first execution begins. 10 seconds left. The air is thick with impending doom. 9, 8, 7. The tension is enough to stop your heart. 2 seconds to go. The world holds its breath. Blue Arc finally appears. The crowd goes wild for the Prince of Dawn Capital, but the villain looks far from impressed. What a cliché monologue. The hero quips, clearly bored by the villain's dramatic flair. He offers a deal. Surrender the hostages and come quietly, or face the consequences. How about I just save everyone and arrest you instead? The hero isn't playing by the rules tonight. Green Wing laughs, revealing that the hostages are rigged with bombs and his lackeys are waiting in the crowd to detonate them at the first sign of movement. The villain challenges him. Are you really going to trade your reputation for a few lives? You've seen plenty of people die, what's a few more? Damn it! If he weren't already exhausted from his last battle, he could disarm those bombs in a heartbeat. One of the hostages screams for him not to give in to the monster's demands. Green Wing snaps at the hostage, silencing the room with a brutal threat. The standoff reaches a boiling point, the atmosphere heavy with the scent of ozone and fear. Green Wing is done waiting. He orders his men to prepare the detonators, ready to end it all. Wait, don't do it. The hero tries to intervene, but the trigger is already being pulled. Confusion reigns as the villain realizes his men aren't following his orders anymore. He looks around, baffled by the sudden lack of carnage. What the hell is going on? He screams, completely caught off guard. The scene descends into total confusion as the villain loses control of his own trap. A terrifying surge of dark energy rips through the air, hoisting the helpless soldiers into the void like ragdolls. The woman freezes, her mind unable to process the sheer power radiating from the hero. Gravity-defying chaos erupts as our hero lunges forward, wreathed in lethal violet energy, striking with cold, mechanical precision. The battle turns in an instant, leaving the villains scrambling for their lives. Just in the nick of time, Ji Minghuan arrives. Is this the moment he finally takes down the criminal? Green Wing panics, screaming at the newcomer, but the hero coldly replies, "He's not with us." The villain demands to know who this mysterious figure is, but the hero doubles down on the confusion. Who is this guy? The social superstar system kicks in, establish cooperation, gain rewards. It's time to play nice. Socializing? This quest is asking for a miracle, but he's ready to give it a shot. He glides across the battlefield, his presence commanding absolute attention. Adopt their mindset. He finally gets it. To win them over, he has to think like them. He tells the villain to calm down, mocking his empty threats with a chilling, arrogant grin. You're not actually going to blow them up, he taunts. You're not that stupid. He points out the obvious. If the hostages die, the villain loses his only leverage. Checkmate. Green Wing is shaking with rage, his plans crumbling before his eyes. Let my men go or I'll butcher you, the villain screams, losing all composure. Step 2 of socializing. Satisfy their needs to keep them sweet. Or, in this case, terrify them into submission. Sure, as you wish. He replies with a dark, sarcastic glint in his eye. A muffled gasp escapes as the reality of his power sets in. A blood-curdling scream tears through the square as his plan takes a dark turn. The count is set, and there's no turning back now. A massive, shadow-infused blade tears through the red void with earth-shattering force, ending the threat in a single brutal strike. There, I let them go, he says, gesturing to the carnage with a smirk. He turns to Green Wing, asking why he looks so upset. Talk about rubbing salt in the wound. The ground shatters as a sinister shadow erupts from beneath, signaling that something far worse is coming. The air itself seems to vibrate with the weight of the dark energy being released. You motherfucker! The villain bellows, realizing he's been played like a fiddle. Did I screw up? The hero tilts his head, feigning genuine confusion. Forget it. Bad guys are too much work, he mutters. I should stick to the good guys from now on. He sighs, wondering if he's ever going to get a break from these lunatics. A heavy blow lands, knocking the wind out of the remaining resistance. The ground ruptures as dark, ominous energy surges to life, awakening a power that shouldn't exist. What goes around comes around, he tells the hostages, acting like the hero of justice, even if his methods are questionable. The dam finally breaks as the hostages collapse into a tearful, desperate embrace. System warning. Deviation is at 30%. If he doesn't start acting more righteous, he's going to go full berserk. Socializing is hard, he complains. Does he need to put their heads back on? What a chore. With a flick of his wrist, he uses his powers to mend the damage, making it look like nothing ever happened. Perfect. Good as new. Nothing to see here, folks. Terror grips the crowd as they witness the impossible. A gruesome scene being undone by a single gesture. System alert. Deviation is climbing to 40%. He's playing a dangerous game. It was just a hologram. Relax, he shouts to the terrified crowd, acting as if he's the world's most convincing magician. A lethal shadow blade flashes through the air, claiming its mark with terrifying precision. Another strike hits home, leaving the target in shock as the brutal attack lands. Despair takes hold as the victims realize they're pawns in a game far bigger than them. Arg! He shouts in frustration. His roleplay anchor is slipping, and he's losing control. Pure accident. Totally an accident. He's sweating bullets now. Socializing is officially a nightmare. He takes a deep breath, ready to try again. This time he's going to nail it. The villain screams, "Just who are you?" "I'm a gray character," he replies coolly. "Not a hero, not a villain. I don't care how you label me." He looks at Blue Arc and smiles. "We're going to be great friends, trust me." Blue Arc stares at the carnage, horrified. "You killed them." A mechanical beast surges forward, its armored frame crackling with raw, unstoppable power. "Would you rather the hostage died?" he retorts, pushing the hero into a moral corner. "Murder is murder. The law will punish you," the hero says, though it sounds like he's just reading from a script. "Let's talk alone, Blue Arc." the hero says, his voice dropping to a serious tone. I want to hear your real thoughts, not the PR version. Dark energy pins the warrior in place, an inescapable trap made of pure malice. The armored titan stands tall, his mechanical gaze marking the start of a fight to the death. Electricity dances across his armor as he prepares to unleash a storm of devastating power. So, Blue Arc, are you going to meet me, or are you going to keep playing hero? A thunderous stomp shakes the earth, signaling that the real fight is only just beginning. The choice is entirely yours. The tension is so thick you could choke on it. Will the hero accept the offer? The armor begins to crack under the pressure of a glowing, parasitic darkness. Shadows coil around his fingertips, ready to strike with lethal, malevolent intent. Hey, are you guys ignoring me? The villain screams, tired of being left out of the dramatic conversation. It's over, the hero says calmly. Your friends are down, and your detonators are useless paperweights. The association has the area surrounded. There is nowhere left to run. But the hostage, the villain starts, clinging to his last shred of hope. The hostage is still with me, he counters, keeping his grip tight. The hostage, Blue Arc repeats, unsure of what the villain is implying. Look closer, he whispers, pointing to the shadows. A lethal blade hovers over the victim, the hunter suddenly finding himself the target. Pure, unadulterated fury radiates from his eyes, locking onto his target with predatory focus. He tracks his target through the gloom, leaving them absolutely nowhere to hide. Damn it all! The villain realizes he's completely lost the upper hand. 1 minute passes, and the entire battlefield is silent, waiting for the next move. The armored warrior launches himself forward, a bolt of electricity shattering the ground beneath him. Speed is everything as he prepares to land a final, devastating blow. I knew you'd follow me, he says, a triumphant grin spreading across his face. Blue Arc, let's get down to business. What is your real background? The hero asks, finally dropping the act. I don't have a name yet, but give it time. People love to give names to the ones they fear. They lock eyes, the air crackling with anticipation as the showdown reaches its breaking point. Are you curious about what I'm reading? He asks, holding up an old, tattered newspaper. The headline screams of a tragic accident 5 years ago. A mother killed by an esper from Iris Wings. The father sued for years, but the government buried the truth because the killer's identity was confidential. He looks at Guchia. You were only 13 then, weren't you? A childhood without a mother is a hollow thing, he sympathizes. It's no wonder you grew to hate these registered heroes. You climbed the ranks, seeking the power to find the one who crushed your mother like an ant. And now, you're so close to the internal ranks of Iris Wings that you can almost taste the revenge. A shadow of pure malice coalesces, crackling with the dark promise of a nightmare brought to life. I'm here to help you, Blue Arc. Let's work together. I'll get you into Iris Wings, and we'll find your mother's killer. And then, a magnificent, bloody revenge. All I need from you is one tiny, insignificant favor in return. What favor? The hero asks, clearly hooked. It's a secret for now, knowing it would get you killed. But trust me, we're going to be seeing a lot of each other. Wait, how do you know who I am? If you're enjoying this recap, smash that like button and subscribe for more. He narrows his eyes, his voice steady as he reveals that the truth is far simpler than anyone could imagine. He mocks them, claiming he sees right through their pathetic masks. The onlookers gasp, calling such a claim absolutely absurd. He taunts his opponent, daring them to believe they could ever actually take him down. The hunter becomes the prey as he unleashes a crushing, dark-powered strike. His opponent doesn't stand a chance against this overwhelming display of force. A blinding surge of raw energy tears through the night sky. Everything in its path is absolutely obliterated. He urges his comrade not to push too hard, pointing out that those neck and waist injuries look absolutely brutal and need immediate treatment. A quick farewell is exchanged, and the mysterious blue arc vanishes into the night. A deafening bolt of lightning tears through the sky. The heavens themselves are trembling with raw, untamed power. The armored warrior stands firm, his sleek plating glistening under the relentless downpour. Tension crackles in the air as he prepares for the chaos to come. Fresh blood drips from the pristine gauntlet, marking the brutal cost of the battle. There's no turning back now, the fight has truly begun. Time slips away as the scene shifts to the imposing Grand Antiquity District. A mysterious figure steps out of the rain, their heavy footfall shattering the silence. The hunt has officially begun. There's genuine concern for Blue Arc. Despite his severe injuries, he's still out there grinding away at his mission. Talk about a dedicated employee of the month. The masked Avenger crashes through the window in a flurry of glass and shadow. With a silent, deadly grace, he arrives to claim his prey. He sighs, realizing that getting Guccia to trust him right now is about as easy as finding a needle in a haystack. It wasn't a total wash, though. He's successfully completed the first phase of the main quest, netting himself a sweet skill point and an attribute point. He's genuinely stressed about his future nickname. Alien? Bandage Freak? He really should have picked something cooler when he had the chance. The system pulls up his character sheet. Gu Wenyu, Esper, rank C across the board. Fame is coming, but for now he's just a nameless C-lister. He stares at the attribute screen. It's exactly like playing a video game, except if he loses, he doesn't get to respawn. Speed, strength, spirit, he's weighing his options like he's picking the best build for a final boss fight. He decides that, in this cutthroat world, moving first is the only way to stay alive. Speed it is. With a single point, his speed stat creeps up, leaving the others in the dust. Every little bit counts when you're trying to avoid an early grave. The complex skill tree system unfolds before his eyes, a map of power he's only just beginning to navigate. The world fractures into digital chaos as he stands unmoved before the glitching abyss. Reality is breaking down, and he's the only one left to face the surge. A blinding surge of raw energy erupts, shattering the digital grid. Pure, crackling power obliterates everything in its path. He examines his pitch-black restraints. There are hidden branches, berserk modes, and enough mystery to keep him busy for a lifetime. The ruthless branch beckons, holding secrets that might just give him the edge he desperately needs. Restraint Truth is basically a lie detector, while Restraint Probe lets him hack an opponent's abilities just by touching them. Convenient, right? The berserk branch is clearly for raw damage, but he's not looking for a brawl. He's looking for survival. For now, he needs to stay alive and track down clues, not play the role of a tank. He spends his skill point on Restraint Probe, officially unlocking his ability to steal data from anyone he gets his hands on. The next skill, Restraint Suppression, is now in his sights. The ability to shut down an enemy's powers? That's going to be a game changer. He wonders about the activation requirements. Does he need a full bind, or is a light tap on the ankle enough? Time to experiment on some unsuspecting victim. Our protagonist is looking for a test subject, who says science can't be fun and slightly terrifying. The hero's eyes widen in sheer disbelief as a shocking truth finally hits home. Everything he thought he knew has just been shattered. The system prompts him to create a new character, but he's currently blocked by a lack of resources. The intensity spikes as the title card slams onto the screen. The stage is set for an epic showdown. He needs 3 points for a new character, and he's currently sitting on 1. The grind is real. Having a backup character would be a literal lifesaver. If one dies, the other can just keep the mission going. It's genius. Electric energy crackles in the air as he plots his next move. Something big is about to go down. The world freezes as a sudden realization sends a chill down his spine. Something unexpected has just changed everything. Crackling with raw energy, a lethal hand reaches out to seize the door. The stage is set for a shocking confrontation. A sharp, sudden click echoes through the silence. Tension spikes as the trap is sprung. A mysterious figure clad in lethal armor looms in the doorway, cutting through the silence of the night. The tension spikes as he locks eyes with his unsuspecting target. A chilling intensity flares in his eyes as he locks onto his target. The atmosphere turns lethal in an instant. He catches his breath, wondering if he just hallucinated the whole thing out of sheer paranoia. A notification flashes. Instructor Ji Minghwan is coming for an interrogation. Time to put on his best, innocent captive face. The instructor asks if he's heard the latest rumors about the new batch of espers appearing outside the lab. Instructor Ji Minghwan enters, looking like he's about to drop some heavy news. He stares in shock at the sudden arrival. A rare moment of peace finally washes over our hero as he drifts into a well-deserved slumber. But don't be fooled. Even in his sleep, the calm before the storm is palpable. He wakes up, acting surprised, though he's definitely not happy to see his night interrupted. The instructor is in a suspiciously good mood today. Maybe he's happy about someone else's misery? He questions how the instructor knows it's evening, clearly trying to find a hole in the guy's logic. The instructor retorts that he's always popping in to ruin his beauty sleep, so it's hardly a mystery. A wicked smirk spreads across his face as he prepares to unleash chaos. Whatever he's planning, it's going to be absolutely lethal. He tries to brush off his annoyance and gets down to business, asking his real question. He points to the image, his heart skipping a beat. He wonders if the person in the photo is actually him. The realization hits him hard. The photo is undeniably him. He protests, questioning why they choose such an ugly guy to represent him. The insult to his vanity is the real crime here. The powers that be have officially dubbed this new esper Black Chrysalis. The instructor admits that the moment he saw the photo, he knew it was the kid. He tells the instructor to just call him ugly to his face. He can take it. The instructor brings up a cringy childhood memory involving toilet paper. Talk about a low blow. He tries to brush it off as a childhood phase, still demanding to know why he's being held captive if he's just a normal kid. The instructor drops the bomb. Prophecy, no less. He's been pegged as the one who will destroy the world. He laughs it off, asking if the world is really that fragile. Plus, he can't even hurt himself without getting zapped by his collar. The instructor just shrugs. Who really knows for sure? He demands to know who started this rumor. He wants a face-to-face confrontation with this mysterious prophet. The answer is a flat no. They physically can't make that happen. He asks if the guy lives in space, but the truth is even more frustrating. They don't even know who he is. This mystery prophet has successfully predicted every major disaster, helping the government avoid catastrophe, but he remains a complete ghost. He realizes the instructor isn't lying. If the world is doomed, it might actually be on him. To top it off, Kong Yuling is coming to visit in 5 minutes. His heart races at the news. The instructor decides to give them some privacy, which is surprisingly decent of him. It's been an eternity since he last saw her. The digital rift tears open before him, reality itself glitching into chaos. Everything is about to change. The barrier shatters into raw, digital energy. A mysterious figure stands at the threshold of a new reality. The system glitches as reality begins to unravel. A surge of raw, digital energy pulses through the air. Wide-eyed and breathless, our protagonist stares into the abyss of an incoming nightmare. The moment of truth has arrived, and there's no turning back now. He reflects on their first meeting 3 years ago. She was the new kid, pale, deaf, mute, and instantly judged by everyone else. The nurses forced everyone to learn sign language, and of course, the other kids took their frustration out on her. She was always the weirdo with her sketchbooks and her silence, a total outcast in their cruel little world. He eventually realized she kept the book so others wouldn't have to learn sign language for her. She was far too kind for that orphanage. But he was different. With a glare that could kill, he stands as the final shield between his trembling companion and the encroaching shadow. The tension is suffocating. He won't let anyone lay a finger on her. He was a troublemaker, running wild to hide the fact that he felt just as alienated as she did. They were both just weirdos in the eyes of the world. He remembers his parents locking him in a closet, promising to return. He was naive enough to believe them, hiding away in the dark, waiting for a door that never opened. They never came back. He grew up, realized he didn't need them, but he realized he needed her. She was the one person he could be himself around. The silence is deafening as she watches from the shadows, her eyes brimming with a haunting, unspoken sorrow. A heavy tension hangs in the air, revealing a hidden truth that could change everything. A single, heart-wrenching tear falls as the weight of reality finally shatters their resolve. He stares, completely caught off guard by her emotion. She asks the one question he's been waiting to answer, "Can I rely on you?" It was the first time he ever felt truly needed by someone else. A chilling, calculated smirk spreads across his face. The game is finally beginning. He makes a solemn vow to protect her. A promise made in the dark is a promise he intends to keep. He asks her the question that haunts him. Will she abandon him just like his parents did? She swears she will never, ever leave him behind. He's relieved it really is her. He's just happy she's safe and sound. Tears well up in her eyes as she offers a fragile, heartbreaking smile. The tension peaks in this raw moment of vulnerable connection. Pure power surges through the collar, crackling with an unstoppable, electrifying energy. The ultimate awakening begins now. The air crackles with lethal energy as a sudden, high-voltage strike slams into the defenseless target. Caught off guard, he's sent flying by a surge of pure, shocking power. He lets out a scream of agony as the electricity ravages him. The system warns him. Physical contact is forbidden, and a second strike will be even worse. Another jolt hits him hard. He gasps, brushing it off. He's built up a tolerance to the pain. Being a test subject is basically his full-time job now. Sweat beads on his brow as he trembles under the weight of an overwhelming pressure. He's reaching his limit, but he isn't backing down yet. They're demanding to know his ability. The interrogation is officially getting aggressive. He knows she's going to get in trouble for this. The instructors don't like people asking the wrong questions. He lies to her, telling her he has no ability. It's the only way to keep them both alive. She accepts his answer without a fight. The tension is thick enough to choke on. She tells him how much she missed him. A chilling smile spreads across his face as he prepares to unleash chaos. The game is just beginning. The guards step in. Visiting hours are over. They dangle the carrot. Behave, and they might let them meet again. Talk about manipulating a kid. He snarks back at them, pointing out that their moral high ground is basically a muddy puddle. The instructor admits he forgets the kid is only 12, given how much he hides behind his masks. He asks if he can pose a question, and the instructor begrudgingly agrees. He asks the million-dollar question. If he's so dangerous, why not just kill him? He pushes the logic. If he's a walking nuke, why risk the lab by keeping him around? The instructor decides to finally give him the unfiltered truth. He waits, ready to hear why he's still breathing. The truth is terrifying. They're afraid. A near-death Esper might trigger a power spike they can't control, so they have to keep him alive to study him. He laughs, relieved that he's too valuable to be executed. At least he'll get a good night's sleep tonight. The instructor gives a cold, knowing chuckle. The interview is over. He's told to get some sleep. The light fades from his eyes as he collapses, defeated and broken. Is this the end for our hero? Far away, the gears of the world keep turning in the Dawn capital. He logs back into his game character, Gu Wenyu. The real fun begins now. His popularity is rising, and the system has updated his codename accordingly. Black Pupa. It's a bit gross, but he'll take it. He's impressed by how fast the system works. Fame is coming faster than he expected. He plans to find the lab, rescue his main body, and get Kong Yu Ling out of there. One step at a time. And if that doesn't work, well, he has a few more destructive ideas. A blindingly radiant smile cuts through the shadows. Her innocent gaze hides a mystery that's about to change everything. The command is absolute. Slaughter them all. A heavy silence hangs in the air as the door remains firmly shut. What kind of dark secrets are waiting on the other side? The door shatters into 1,000 splinters as an unstoppable force bursts through. There is absolutely nowhere left to hide. Look who decided to show up. Someone has officially returned, and they aren't here to bake cookies. The air grows cold and stagnant as the atmosphere drops to 0 degrees. The silence is shattered as a mysterious presence stirs beneath the sheets. An uninvited observer watches from the shadows, ready to strike at any second. He breathes a sigh of relief. His reaction speed saved him this time. He really shouldn't have been discovered. A soft, deliberate step breaks the silence, echoing through the room. Someone is making a calculated move in the darkness. He calls out Suzumai, realizing exactly who is lurking nearby. A new quest pops up. Investigate what his younger sister is hiding. Wait, what is she doing here? Caught off guard in his own bed, he stares down the barrel of a cold, lethal weapon. Will she pull the trigger before he can even blink? Things are getting heated. Let's see if he survives this morning wake-up call. He frantically stammers, trying to figure out why his sister is pointing a weapon at his face. She snaps at him for being an incredibly lazy pig, noting it's already 3 p.m. Who sleeps that long? He runs through the family history. Suzumai is 16, Gu Wenyu is 17, and the oldest brother is 19. He realizes his own vessel, Gu Wenyu, looks the youngest due to his sickly, drooping eyes. He recalls the family rule. Sons take the father's surname, and daughters take the mother's. That explains why the sister is a Su. He decides it's not worth the effort to argue with her right now. He watches the news in total shock. What the hell is going on in this city? The Lijiang Daily News is reporting live. An unknown Esper appeared downtown last night, intervening in a hostage crisis and leaving a trail of bodies in their wake. The local superhuman association is stepping in to address the situation. The association has officially dubbed the attacker Black Pupa and classified them as a Class B observation target. Class B? So there's a whole ranking system for these superpowered freaks. The system activates. By touching a human, he can pull up all their data, abilities, and hidden attributes. The numbers flash before his eyes. She's more than she appears. A sinister shadow looms over the girl while she stays glued to her phone. She has no idea a predator is closing in. Dark, lethal tendrils coil around the target. The hunt is officially underway. She freezes in absolute terror as a chilling realization strikes. Her eyes glow, signaling that things have taken a turn for the worse. He locks onto his target, his eyes sharp and focused. There is no turning back now. He offers a casual, eerie greeting. He holds out a cola, acting like he didn't just contemplate her demise. Talk about a smooth criminal. She shakes off a sudden, overwhelming sense of danger. Was it just an illusion? The main quest is still hanging there, incomplete. He wonders if he needs to see her use her powers or confirm her as an exorcist. Her stats are terrifying. Rank B spirit and a magic hand innate drive. He recalls the 3 major species: Anomaly, Emissary, and Esper. He hadn't seen the third one until now. The final piece of the puzzle clicks into place. The exorcists are the third faction. She suddenly chirps, noticing they are both home. How rare. She announces she's cooking dinner tonight. She orders them to stay put until they've eaten. He notes that Guchie, who was shredded last night, looks perfectly fine today. Either Espers heal like monsters, or the association has top-tier medical coverage. She drops the news. Dad is coming home tonight. He couldn't care less. Let the old man come home if he wants to. He hopes the brother and father don't get into another shouting match after 2 years of silence. He reviews the United Nations danger classification for Espers. The ranks range from restricted class down to harmless class. Harmless class can work normal jobs, while associate class Espers are a step above but still mediocre. Chief class is for the standouts, and dragon class forms the backbone of the association. Calamity class is the gold standard. Anyone in the Rainbow Wings has to hit at least this level. Then there's the restricted class. Only one has ever existed, and the records are strictly confidential. Wait, they say the only restricted class Esper is dead. Is the world talking about him? He realizes that if he is that restricted class Esper, his former research facility must have been linked to the association itself. If he goes to war with the researchers, he's basically declaring war on the entire UN. The Rainbow Wings would definitely come for his head. He ponders his next move. Maybe he can rope this family into being his personal muscle? If he plays the role of the long-lost son well, manipulating them should be a walk in the park. They already hate the Rainbow Wings for what happened to their mother. A united front is practically begging to be formed. With their connections, they could be a force to be reckoned with. He turns his attention to Xiaoyu. He asks casually if she was home all night. A sinister smirk plays on his lips. With his blood-red eyes locked on her, the hunt is back on. She notes he's been acting weird today. He's blindsided by the sudden suspicion. He's frozen, praying he hasn't been caught. He plays it cool, claiming he went straight to bed. She presses him about hearing anything in the night. Did a thief break in? He denies everything. She brushes it off, telling him to forget she asked. He wonders why she's staring at him like that. She calls him out. He's talking way more than usual. Normally, he's a shut-in. He considers leaving, but she keeps poking at his strange behavior. She says it's good he's finally out and talking. She warns him not to turn into the old man and ignore his own family. She reminisces about how good the atmosphere used to be when their mother was around. He decides to shut his mouth before he blows his cover. This family business is harder than it looks. A thunderous pounding hits the door. Who is trying to break it down? She goes to answer it. She peeks around the corner, her eyes wide with shock. What could have caught her attention? A chilling silence falls as she stares ahead with icy intensity. Something wicked is brewing. She announces that Dad has arrived. An icy tension fills the room. The father is finally here. A chilling silhouette emerges from the shadows. The dread is palpable. A new quest. Investigate what the father, Gu Zhuan, is hiding. He stares at the man. So, this is the legendary father? Gu Zhuan makes his grand entrance. The siblings are acting awkward, keeping their heads down. This is the perfect chance to strike. Time to dig into the old man's secrets. He reaches out to make contact. A monstrous serpent seems to manifest from the shadows, eyes burning with lethal intent. A crushing blow is about to land. The impact is imminent. He realizes his mistake. This was a bad idea. Gu Zhuan is far more alert than the sister. The restraint belt detection activates instantly. The father demands to know what the meaning of this is. He stammers, claiming he was just brushing dust off the old man's shoulder. Smooth, real smooth. The father's cold gaze cuts through him like a blade. The father apologizes for his reaction. He claims his time on the front lines made his nerves way too sensitive. But he can't shake that strange feeling he just had. It felt like a snake leaping from the brush, its eyes piercing his very soul. Quest completed. He gains a skill point and character points. That was a close call. The next quest is live. Establish a link with the villain Ghost Clock. Wait, the villain? He's related to the villain. The truth hits him like a truck. Gu Zhuan is the Ghost Clock. He reviews the file. Ghost Clock creates a giant clock tower and a shadow clone. The shadow gets boosts based on the hour. This guy is a monster. He's been hunting corrupt espers for 2 years, taunting the association to send the Rainbow Wings after him. It all makes sense now. Gu Zhuan is just baiting the person who killed his wife so he can rip them apart. Meanwhile, the son, Gu Chia, joined the association specifically to climb the ranks and find the same killer. They are father and son, fighting on opposite sides of a war, both blinded by a quest for vengeance. The son confronts his father, calling out his rotten habits and his 2-year absence. He accuses his father of caring more about the dead than the living children suffering at home. Did the old man ever think about how they felt after the funeral? They hid their pain while he turned a blind eye to their existence. He recounts how many times his sister cried for a father who wasn't there. He regrets ever promising her that Dad would come back. He tells the old man to go rot with the ghost of his wife. The father turns the tables. He asks if the son has forgotten his mother, too. The room goes silent. He snaps at the son to shut up. The father claims the son knows nothing of the sacrifices he's made. He scoffs at his father's excuses. Enough is enough. The air crackles with lethal intent. A massacre is just one blink away. The old master casts an icy gaze that cuts through the room. He's ready to unleash hell. The hero's eyes burn with cold intensity. He's done playing nice. It's time for total destruction.